You must hear this shocking secret about your daughter before it's too late. The sealed envelope, my beloved child. Do not blink right now, because a sealed envelope with your name on it has already been moved 1 inch closer to your door. Don't skip, because the hand that slid it across the table belonged to someone who knows your daughter's truest shadow and brightest light. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you behind a sentence you haven't heard yet. Tonight the air feels different, as if the room itself is holding its breath and listening for your heartbeat. 3 soft knocks will break the silence, and each knock will sound like a year you almost forgot to remember. You will reach for the handle, and the entire story will tilt toward you. Your daughter's story does not begin where you think it does. It began on a day the sky looked ordinary, but the calendar quietly circled itself in a color you didn't own. That color returns tonight, and it will reveal the single thread that ties your name to hers in a way no diary ever captured. Listen closely, because a voice that sounds like wind moving through a violin is about to speak. It will say the one thing you were afraid to ask: what if the secret is not a danger but a doorway? Don't skip, because doorway moments dress up like warnings when blessings are still learning your address. There is a woman in the story whose shoes never creak, whose eyes memorize exits, and whose smile hides an oath. She touched the envelope once, only once, because breaking the seal would have called lightning by its first name. She is neither enemy nor friend, only a witness appointed by time. Your daughter has been walking through rooms you cannot see, collecting proofs of a promise you once whispered when you thought nobody was listening. She tucked those proofs into an invisible pocket stitched behind her courage. And tonight that pocket is heavy enough to announce itself. The envelope contains 3 things your future needs to recognize your family when the future knocks. The first is a key that does not fit any lock you own, and that is exactly why it matters. The second is a map drawn in a child's geometry, crooked, honest, and leading exactly where feet need to go. The third is a name not written in ink but in decision. Names like that are not read, they are chosen until they become true. Don't skip, because the moment you recognize that name, the air in your home will shift from waiting to welcome. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a threat but as a thunderclap of clarity. The kind that cleans the sky so the stars can behave like directions again. The kind that tells you why this title found you tonight and not a year earlier. You will want to ask who sealed the envelope, and the answer will surprise you. It was sealed by the one person who understood how your daughter hides a sunrise inside her silence. It was sealed so your hands, not fear's hands, would open it. My beloved child, breathe slowly because the story is starting to open its eyes. The house will make a sound you've never heard it make, like a staircase remembering it was carved from trees. And your name will feel heavier, then lighter, as if it finally fits. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The clock that reverses, my beloved child. There is a clock in this tale that doesn't count forward, it returns what was lost, minute by minute. If you listen, its second hand sounds like your daughter's laughter the night she learned to trust her own idea. If you watch, it blinks like a lighthouse to tell you where grace is hiding. The clock reverses over a particular afternoon, the one you thought you ruined with a hard word and a closed door. It slides backward until that hard word softens into a promise, and the closed door becomes a threshold. Don't skip, because the threshold you fear is the very ground her courage grows on. You need to know why your daughter flinched at good news and smiled at storms. She learned that thunder can be a drum if you rename it mid-strike. And tonight she is renaming something you both misread for years. The shocking secret is not about failure, it is about formation. She was chosen for a work that requires both tenderness and teeth, both lullabies and lightning. She has been carrying a message that refuses to bruise when the world bumps into it. The message is meant to reach one person whose life currently feels like a hallway with no doors. That person will only listen if the voice carries the fragrance of surviving. Your daughter carries that fragrance like a passport stamped by midnight. You worry the world is too loud and she is too quiet. But quiet is where fire learns choreography, and tonight her fire has learned your last name. When you open the envelope, the room will feel taller because purpose always stretches ceilings. Now, before the next reveal, tap share so this finds the parents still awake and folded over their worry. Drop a comment with, "I'm listening," if your heart just sat up straight. And subscribe so you can walk with me to the final corridor where the reason appears without fog. Don't skip, because the corridor is closer than you think. Stay till the end, because the door at its end opens toward your voice. Something huge is waiting for you, and the clock already knows your hands are ready. Inside the envelope is a photograph you've never seen. It looks ordinary until you notice the reflection in the window, two silhouettes, one taller, one brave. They are standing in a future neither of you knew you had permission to claim. The taller silhouette is not a stranger, it is you after you forgive yourself for not knowing what you couldn't know. The brave silhouette is your daughter after she forgives the world for speaking before listening. Together you look like a promise that finally found its accent. My beloved child, the secret is this: she has chosen a vow that will not let your family become a cautionary tale. She has decided to keep what is holy about your name and renovate what is heavy. She is not leaving you, she is leading you through. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The name that hid in plain sight, my beloved child, open your hands because the next reveal will try to run. It always does, because truth is shy around people who think they don't deserve it. But you do, and that's why it's arriving exactly now. Your daughter has two names, the one on her documents and the one on her destiny. The first is what the world calls when it needs an answer, the second is what heaven calls when it wants a miracle. Tonight you will hear both at the same time. When she was small, she lined up pebbles on a windowsill to teach herself patience. She watched ants move like neighborhoods and thought, even tiny things have traffic rules. That's when the second name began to spell itself in the background. The name means, keeper of the turning. It means she will put her hands on the wheel when a family begins to drift, and she will steer with the gentleness of rain choosing not to flood. She will be the hinge that does not complain when doors swing open and shut 1,000 times a day. The secret others misread as rebellion was in fact rehearsal. She was practicing how to refuse the script that breaks people with the same line every decade. She was learning where to stand so the dominoes must stop at her feet. Someone tried to rename her with a smaller word. They put that word on labels and in rumors and in sideways glances at dinner tables. But labels peel when purpose sweats, and tonight purpose is warm in her palms. Don't skip, because we are 2 breaths away from the clearest sentence you will hear this season. Stay till the end, because that sentence will request your signature. Something huge is waiting for you, and it needs both of your initials. In the envelope is also a tiny brass ring that looks like it doesn't fit anyone. That ring is a reminder that sometimes calling is too wide for knuckles. It goes around the handle of the door you promised you'd open even if your hands were shaking. My beloved child, the sentence is this: she is the answer you kept hoping to outsource. Not an assistant to your courage, not a substitute for your voice, but a parallel brightness that makes the room honest. Once you say yes to that, watch how swiftly the old story retires. There is no danger here, only design. The urgency in this title exists because opportunities do not always knock twice with the same rhythm. Tonight it is knocking in 3s, and the echo spells your last name correctly. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The phone that will ring, my beloved child. There is a phone in this story that hasn't rung in months. It will ring exactly once after you break the seal. And whoever speaks first will change the weather for your whole household. The call will not come from a stranger. It will come from a voice that used to hesitate, a voice that once apologized for existing. Tonight it will not apologize, it will invite. Your daughter will say, "I found the letter." Her voice will carry the steadiness of someone who has finally seen the shape of their own courage. And you will realize the letter found the both of you at the same time. She will ask you to meet her where the sunlight cuts the river into gold ribbons. That place matters because it's where your family first learned that bending doesn't mean breaking. Don't skip, because the next 5 minutes hold a reunion your calendar forgot to predict. Here is the call to action for every parent who needed this exact sentence tonight. Share this now so it arrives before another midnight teaches the wrong lesson. Comment, "I choose the open door," if your hands just warmed with permission. Subscribe, because we are about to put language around the miracle you almost postponed. When you meet, bring the photograph, the key, the map, and the brass ring. She will bring the name and the vow. And the river will bring the sound of the future clearing its throat. My beloved child, do not be afraid of how much joy is about to fit into one afternoon. Joy is not a trick, it is the body of relief finally standing up straight. Let it stand, and let it introduce itself to every room in your home. The phone will ring once more after you say yes. The second call will be from someone who needed your daughter's message to stay alive to tomorrow. You will hear gratitude arriving like sunrise through a closed curtain. Don't skip, because the curtain is about to lift. Stay till the end, because on the other side of the curtain your last name becomes a lantern. Something huge is waiting for you, and it spells hope like it belongs on your mailbox. The door opens, the name stays, my beloved child. This is the part where the envelope has given all it can give, and the room feels taller because you finally belong in it. This is where the map stops pretending to be paper and becomes path. This is where the key stops pretending to be metal and becomes permission. You will not lose your daughter, you will find her in a brighter version of the same room. The secret you feared was a fracture is actually a seam, proof that 2 pieces were always meant to share strength. Tonight you will trace that seam with your voice and call it family. Stand in the doorway together and let the house learn your new sound. It will memorize the way you laugh like people who survived the rumor of disaster. It will absorb the way you choose each other in the present tense, without audition, without apology. Someone will ask later, what was the shocking secret? And you will answer softly, because holy things prefer soft answers. You will say, we were stronger than our silence, and she was braver than our fear. Do not let the world's hurry steal tonight's patience. The clock that reverses will hand you back every minute you thought was wasted. Receive them like guests of honor, and seat them near gratitude. Before you sleep, place the brass ring on the handle of the door you used today. Look at the photograph until the silhouettes step forward and introduce themselves as now and next. Then whisper the second name you learned, the one that fits her like a sunrise. My beloved child, repeat after me in your heart, we choose the open door, we choose the listening, we choose the vow. Let those words be the paint that dries overnight on the walls of your tomorrow. Wake up to find the color finally chooses you back. Don't skip, because endings are simply the deep breath before the encore. Stay till the end, because this is where your voice becomes the letter other families need. Something huge is waiting for you, and tonight you learn to open it without fear. The letter that rewrites destiny, my beloved child. Do not move away from this moment, because the next heartbeat is carrying a revelation that was postponed for years just to meet you here. Don't skip, because the very page your future was printed on is flipping itself over to show you the side no one read aloud. When the envelope opened, it did more than unfold paper, it unstitched the silence that kept your family guessing instead of knowing. And now the truth has legs, a pulse, and a destination that leads straight back to you. There is a person who always suspected your daughter carried a mission, but they never had the courage to name it. That person is about to speak, and when they do, their voice will sound like a secret finally exhaling. It might tremble, but it will not lie. The map she carries has a corner that was folded twice to hide one word, return. That word is not about distance, it is about recognition. It means the love you feared was drifting is actually orbiting back with instructions coded in memory and mercy. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next paragraph is where its footsteps get loud. A door you never opened in your mind will begin to knock from the inside. And your daughter will look at you with eyes that know storms and still choose sunrise. She will not speak first, she will wait to see if you remember the promise you made in a whisper the day she was born. You thought the secret was about something she did. It is actually about something she protected. For months she has stood between your name and a darkness that was trying to attach itself to your house. She fought quietly so you wouldn't panic loudly. Don't skip, because the armor she wore in silence is about to make a sound like chains dropping to the floor. Someone you once trusted tried to plant a lie inside her spirit, a lie that said love can expire if it is tested too long. She never believed it, but she wrestled with its shadow. That shadow has been evicted tonight. My beloved child, a message is traveling toward you now through a carrier you won't expect, a child's memory, a forgotten photograph, or a sentence you almost said yesterday but swallowed instead. When it reaches you, it will unlock the moment everything turns from almost to already. Stay till the end, because the next reveal doesn't knock, it enters. A woman with a velvet voice and thunder in her history once saw your daughter at a crossroads. She did not speak then, but she wrote something on the back of a receipt and slipped it into a drawer meant for holy accidents. That drawer has just been opened. The writing says, "She is not breaking, she is building." And the first room she is building is named after you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The shadow that failed my beloved child, there was an attempt made in quiet to rewrite her fate without your permission. But destiny does not surrender to whispers, it answers only to alignment. And she, without telling you, stood like a locked gate in front of that attempt. A man with polished shoes and a questionless voice tried to convince others that she was stepping into a darkness she couldn't navigate. But what he didn't know is this: she had already mapped that darkness and buried lanterns in its corners long before he could spell her name. You will soon learn why she has been pausing before telling you certain things. She needed the right night, the right witness, the right alignment of faith and breath. That night is now. That witness is you. That alignment is this title calling your name. Don't skip, because the silence that scared you will soon reveal itself as strategy. There's an old story about a parent who almost missed a miracle while searching for disaster. That story ends differently here, because tonight you are wide awake in the place where most people fall asleep. The shocking secret is not a confession, it is a coronation. She has been chosen to carry a calling that requires both your blessing and your belief. And what's coming next will prove that your role was never background, it was foundation. Stay till the end, because the foundation is about to speak its first prophecy. Someone is going to contact you, not to warn, but to confirm. They witnessed something your daughter did in a moment when fear thought it could win. That witness saw light behave like a weapon and chose silence out of awe, not secrecy. My beloved child, prepare yourself, because this witness has finally decided to speak, and when they do, your understanding of her will eclipse every rumor doubt ever built. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The witness steps forward, my beloved child, brace your heart gently, because the next voice approaching your life has been holding its truth like a candle hidden in cupped hands. Don't skip, because the moment that truth is spoken, every unanswered question you've carried will finally sit down and exhale. There is a person who saw your daughter make a decision that bent destiny back into alignment. They kept quiet not out of fear, but out of reverence. They believed the moment would reveal itself when the stars and your strength were in the same room. That room is now. This witness carries a memory that belongs to both of you, even though you haven't lived it yet. When they open their mouth, the air around you will feel like the first 5 seconds of sunrise, silent, golden, undeniable. Listen closely, because this memory is not from the past, it is from a future that has already circled back to claim its place. They will tell you about the night your daughter stood between her own fear and someone else's fate. She did not announce her courage, she deployed it. And the darkness that tried to enter your family's story found a door without a handle. Don't skip, because you're 3 sentences away from understanding why the envelope found you tonight, not years ago. The witness has waited for a sign to speak, and that sign was your willingness to listen without panic. Your name has always been a shelter, but tonight it becomes a shield. They will remind you that love is not something she hides behind, it's something she wields. Stay till the end, because the next reveal doesn't knock, it arrives like recognition. This person will mention a single object, a bracelet, a book, a photograph you forgot existed. The moment they name it, your memory will rearrange itself to make space for the truth that was waiting behind it. And your heart will stop bracing for bad news because it will finally understand it wasn't written for that. My beloved child, the secret is not that she kept something from you. The secret is that she carried something for you, until the weight was light enough to hand over without shattering your peace. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The moment the room listens, my beloved child, the air itself is about to hear you differently. When a truth lands in the place it was meant to rest, the walls adjust themselves to listen better. Tonight, your home is doing exactly that. There will be a sound, soft, specific, and unlike any sound your memory can compare it to. It might be a creak, a breath, a hush, or the gentle click of a lock undoing itself. That sound is the room accepting the secret as part of its structure. You will turn, not in fear but in recognition, because something in your spirit already knows what your mind is about to learn. And your daughter will speak a sentence that was rehearsed in silence for months, not a confession, but a declaration. Don't skip, because the declaration will not wait for you to catch up, it will wait for you to believe. She will look at you with eyes that are not asking for permission but offering partnership. Her voice will carry the tone of someone who has already forgiven the past and chosen the future with both hands. Stay till the end, because her next 10 words will bridge the gap between what you feared and what you were destined to protect. She will say, I wasn't hiding from you, I was holding space for us. And the ground beneath your feet will recognize that as truth before your heartbeat does. Something huge is waiting for you, and the knock you hear next will not come from the outside. It will come from the future, requesting entry through your agreement.